be nowhere is the aroma of high-quality barbecue more enticing, more mouth-watering than outside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City on a Sunday afternoon. But there's another reason for fans to be here today. The return of Peyton Manning to the NFL playing field has been something to see this season, and today he looks to nudge his Broncos a bit closer to a divisional title. In the AFC playoff race, Houston, Baltimore, the Patriots, the Broncos, all looking pretty good in their hunt for a division championship, and the Colts and the Steelers lead the way in the chase for the 2 wildcard berths starting play today. And the home-standing Chiefs at 1-9, clearly looking at the role of spoiler here this afternoon. Hi everyone, welcome to Kansas City. Greg Humble along with my Hall of Fame partner, Dan Deerdorf. Dan, we're not trying to fool anyone here today. The Chiefs at 1-9 are very much the underdog to a Denver Broncos team that has gotten better week after week after week. And as we spoke to Broncos players and coaches yesterday, you asked them a pretty key question. Who wants to play a 1-9 team?
Nobody. And it makes you uncomfortable, especially when you're talking about a division rival. You're talking about playing them on the road, and especially at a place like Arrowhead, Greg, where until recently you really had to scratch and claw to leave here with a win.
Now, this AFC West has been the home to some great quarterbacks over the years. The great Lenny Dawson here in Kansas City, 3 NFL titles and a Super Bowl championship. A storied part of the Raiders stories. Kenny Stabler, our colleague, Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, his right arm made the Chargers a force for 15 years. And in Denver, John Elway ran roughshod over opponents while winning 2 Super Bowls. And in Denver, they've got another great one now.
Well, the 36-year-old Peyton Manning in his 15th year. We all know about the surgeries on the neck, the way he has recovered, the way he has lifted everyone on this team has been a sight to see. Now look at the transformation from last year to this year. Now keep in mind, last year Tim Tebow was the quarterback down the stretch, hardly a passing machine. But look where Peyton Manning has this offense so far in 2012. It has been some transformation.
Now the Broncos are missing their fine running back Willis McGahee. He's gone for the rest of the regular season with a knee injury. No Sean Moreno starts for him today. And for the Chiefs, a quarterback change at halftime last week. Head coach Romeo Cornell says it wasn't temporary.
No, this has been Matt Castle's football team for the last couple of years, but that ended at halftime last week, as Greg mentioned. Brady Quinn now is going to be the starter, and Romeo Cornell, the head coach, has basically said that this is going to be for the balance of the season unless something catastrophic happens. Now, the one thing that Brady Quinn has going for him is the Kansas City running game behind Jamal Charles. He is an explosive you see right there, almost 260 yards in one game.
Home Depot tools for success for today, Dan.
Well, we are going to see some of the game's best pass rushers on display here this afternoon. Von Miller for the Denver Broncos. He's got 13 sacks after 11 and a half last year with the lead. This Denver defense goes wild. And Tamba Hali, now he had a dozen sacks last year, but only 6 this year. Keep in mind, not many people have had to throw against the Kansas City defense. The tools for success from the Home Depot Denver Broncos. Hey, you're the big favorite. Don't give them hope. Get up on them early. Don't let them think that they have a chance. And it's really simple for Kansas City. Do what you do best. That is running the football. If Charles and the running game don't have a big day, Brady Quinn has no chance.
And for more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. Peyton Manning's in town. His Broncos are heavy favorites. And the task at hand for the Chiefs is monumental. It's just the way it is in the world of sports. If you don't win, you're in trouble, and Chiefs head coach Romeo Cornell is on the hot seat. His longtime friend, John Fox, has no time for sympathy. He's busy guiding his Broncos to the promised land of the NFL playoffs. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish, where available using the SAP button on your television. The renewal of one of the great rivalries in the NFL. Kansas City, the all-time leader, 56-48. Last time they met, last January in Denver, won by the Chiefs by a score of 7-3. We welcome you to Arrowhead Stadium on a beautiful final Sunday afternoon in the month of November. And Dan, you can count the number of times that on 2 or 3 fingers that Arrowhead Stadium wasn't filled to the brim.
Yeah, it's a late arriving crowd. It's a disappointed crowd. But you're right about the weather, Greg. No wind at all. Temperature right now is around 50 degrees. Bright sunshine, not a cloudless sky. A perfect day for football.
Sean Drone is deep. The Chiefs won the toss. They are getting the football first, and Drone 2 yards deep out of his own end zone. And lots of blocking in front of him, breaking to the outside and out close to the 30-yard line. Brady Quinn came on at halftime last week in relief of Matt Castle in the loss to Cincinnati. He starts today. He is 3-11 as a starter in his career. And as Dan mentioned a couple of moments ago, Romeo Crennel, the head coach of the Chiefs, says this is not a temporary attempt at a fix. This is permanent unless something drastic happens. And there is Matt Castle watching from the sideline.
180.
This is Jamal Charles. An outstanding runner, and he busts it out to the 35, brought down by Wesley Woodyard. Injuries have hit the Chiefs' offensive line hard. Left tackle Brandon Albert is out. Rookie Donald Stevenson replaces him. Kansas City owns the 4th best rushing attack in the NFL, led by Jamal Charles.
And if things aren't bad enough, Jamal Charles, after that first run, had to come to the Kansas City sideline. Looked like he was clutching his midsection.
Peyton Hillis replaces him in the backfield.
Oh, you can't even measure what a loss that is for Kansas City if that makes him a little less effective.
Hillis to the left side. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Jamal Charles on that opening carry.
Oh, and he's doubled over on the sidelines. A good positive gain, a good cut up field. He might have landed on the football. Looked like the football, rather than off to the side, is right underneath it, and it comes down and looks like it hits him right in the sternum. And that hurt. Hopefully it was just getting the wind knocked out of him. That's from a Kansas City perspective. They just can't lose Charles.
Sean Drone is now in the backfield on 3rd and 2, and he gets a first down across the 40 and out to about the 43-yard line. Denver's 4-3 defense, number 92, Elvis Dumerville. 8 quarterback sacks. He's forced 6 fumbles. A terror for quarterbacks at linebacker in Von Miller. 13 sacks, 23 tackles for a loss. That leads the NFL in that department. And the one and only Champ Bailey holds down one corner in the secondary. 51 career interceptions, 33 of them as a Bronco.
Well, this is no surprise for the Kansas City offense that they're running the football successfully so far.
Quinn throws his pass of the day on the slant at midfield. It's complete to Dexter McCluster. And across midfield and into Denver territory to the 49.
And Raheem Moore drops him immediately. This is a good job of holding on to the football. McCluster took a big pop right off the bat. Yeah, I'd be happy about holding on to that ball too. And there's some good news for Kansas City.
Jamal Charles back into the backfield. 2nd and 3. So this is Charles, left side. Has a first down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. When we talked to Brady Quinn this week, he says, yeah, there's more on the table for me this week, considering it's Denver. He spent 2 years in Denver and never saw the playing field.
Now keep in mind that this is his 6th season in the National Football League after being a first-round pick of the Browns back in '07. But amazingly, in those 6 years, this is just start number 15 for Brady Quinn. For all his time in the league, he's relatively inexperienced.
On first down, this is Hillis. And Hillis lost the ball. Was he down before he coughed it up? The officials say it's Denver football. Mike Adams with the recovery.
Well, there's a lot of officials looking at each other. Jerome Boger's looking up at a play, looking at a replay on the screen. I think his knee's down before that ball comes out.
I think that left knee hit the turf.
It looks to me. Denver does a good job stripping that ball, but I think his knee is down before that ball is stripped away.
Jerome Boger is our referee today. Romeo Purnell has challenged. Jerome Boger will take a look.
Welcome back to Kansas City, everybody. We've got a pretty definitive look right here. They're right there, freeze it. The left knee is down, and Peyton Hillis still has the football solidly in his possession.
And Jerome Boger has made his decision.
After reviewing the play, the run was down by contact at the 42-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for Kansas City at the 42-yard line.
And I misspoke earlier saying that Romeo Purnell had thrown the challenge flag. That is an automatic review of a turnover. It's always
plays.
good to get that first mistake out of the way early, Dan.
Old habits die hard.
Yes, I know.
In the current NFL, all turnovers automatically reviewed, all scoring plays automatically reviewed, and replay did its job right there. We're having a
I think Jerome Boger just said first down, but it really isn't. It would be a gain of 3 and would make it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, they're going to have to correctly spot this football and get the down and distance right. They haven't switched the down marker over on the far sideline or either sideline. It's still showing first down. Here comes our correction right here.
We have a correction. Kansas City keeps the ball, but it's second down. Second down.
All right.
Dan, this has been historically one of the loudest places in all of football. You played in the very first game played here.
Yes, I did 40 years ago. And it's, well, and now we're getting slowed down again. Chiefs are at the line of scrimmage, and Jerome Boger steps in, and now let's play some football. There are a lot of empty seats here at Arrowhead, and you know, and obviously
there's a lot of discontent in this town.
There is, and this is one of the great fan bases in professional sports. They are an unhappy lot right now. 1-9 will do that to you.
180.
Brady gives to Dexter McCusker. McCusker turning the corner, cuts inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Brought down by Jim Leonard. That's a terrific looking running play.
Well, and this is really an in-your-face from the Kansas City Chiefs, because let's not kid ourselves. The Broncos know that they're going to run the football. And right now they are getting blocked. They're struggling to get off blocks. And this time the cluster enjoys a huge opening off the right-hand side. But this is not taking Denver by surprise.
Up the middle is Jamal Charles, who cuts it outside. And not much there, maybe to the 22.
Well, Kansas City last scored a touchdown on their opening drive back in 2010. There was a Castle pass to Jamal Charles for the touchdown. It's been 27 games since the Chiefs have had an opening drive touchdown. That's the longest streak in the National Football League still alive, and that's, man, that's something I know Romeo would love to put in the rearview mirror.
Well, this Chiefs team has only scored 4 touchdowns in its last 6 games. Scoring has been the problem. Straight ahead is Sean Drone. And Drone to about the 16-yard line, where Mike Adams makes the stop.
You know, one of the things that the Chiefs are having to compensate for is they've got a rookie starting at left tackle, Donald Stevenson. Brandon Albert, their outstanding left tackle, he's got a bad back and he's not able to go today. And imagine if this gets into a situation where the Chiefs fall behind and this rookie's got to deal with Elvis Dumervil and Von Miller in the passing game. That's why 8 running plays so far for Kansas City against a lone pass.
3rd and 3. And the direct snap. Gillis going to throw it on the far side of the field and way short of Brady Quinn.
Well, they tried a little trickery. Now Elvis Dumervil was over there fronting up Quinn, and I don't know if that affected the play. As Greg said, the direct snap here to Hillis, but he just short arms it coming back. And Dumerville was the closest guy there, but he was having to spin around.
Brian Suckup, who was 20 for 23 in field goals, this one from 34 yards to give Kansas City the lead.
And something that's been a rarity for them.
And it's good. So the key to beating the Denver Broncos is to keep that guy on the sideline. He gets his first shot on offense when we come back. Chiefs get a field goal and take a 3-0 lead. Fans were booing, Dan, and I'm sure many of them will ask, as I asked during the break, think the running game is going so well, why would you try a play like that?
Well, because you're selling the running game, and really Matt Castle was open. I mean, not Matt Castle, but on the other side, Brady Quinn was open. A better throw from Hillis would have picked up a first down.
Shindon Holiday will not run this one out of the end zone. And so the Broncos will begin at their own 20-yard line. And Peyton Manning at quarterback for the Broncos, just 25 yards shy of his 14th season, throwing for 3,000 yards. He has 24 touchdown passes against 7 interceptions. The NFL's only 4-time MVP.
Yeah, he's liable to eclipse 3,000 yards on this drive.
He has the kind of receivers who could eclipse it on one pass.
That is true.
Sean Moreno, and Moreno not much there at all, maybe a 3-yard gain. Derek Johnson with the tackle. And Manning will not huddle his team. He'll set them at the line.
A lot of pressure on Sean Moreno, replacing Willis McGahee. This might be his last chance to secure a home endeavor.
Manning's first pass of the day. Moreno crushed at about the 17 or 18-yard line, and again Derek Johnson. Manning gets a key lineman back today. Right guard Chris Cooper missed the last 2 games with a sprained left ankle, and with McGahee gone with a knee injury, we've talked about Sean Moreno with a chance to resurrect his career with the start at running back today.
Keep in mind, Moreno has been inactive the last 8 games. They haven't even seen fit to dress him.
3rd and 12.
That's way down the pecking order.
Manning with time up the middle, and he's got his man out across the 45 to the 47. Brandon Stokely, and there's a loose football, and it goes over to Kansas City. And Stokely is shaken up.
Well, Stokely took a huge hit. All right, let's take a look at this. Underneath coverage is by Arenas, and then the safety coming in over the top and sandwiched in between. And it looked like that ball was on the ground. Let's take a look at it. That may end up being an incomplete pass.
Review in progress.
Again, welcome back to Kansas City. Here comes the pass from Manning to Stokely. All right, he has it there, but he's going to go to the ground. He's got to complete the process of this catch, and it looks to me like Arenas picks the ball up off of the ground, which would mean that that is an incomplete pass because Stokely didn't complete the process.
So Jerome Boger busy under the hood already today.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and 12 at the 18-yard line.
That's good work by Jerome Boger going under the hood because Stokely did not complete the process. In that situation, you must go to the ground and maintain possession of the football, and it was pretty clear that Arenas actually picked the ball up off of the grass.
And Javier Arenas is now deep for the punt, and the first of many a Colquitt punt today.
And we'll see about Stokely's health. He was holding his right arm when he left the field. He took a vicious hit.
This is Britton Colquitt to punt it away for Denver. His brother Dustin kicks for Kansas City. Arenas with a chance for a return from the 37. Riddle inside the 40-yard line. Brought down by Omar Bolden. And terrific field position for Brady Quinn and the Chiefs offense. Tomorrow on CBS, is she a psychoanalyst or just plain psycho? Catch an electrifying new Hawaii 5-0 tomorrow only. CBS.
Well, right now, if you're the Denver defense, you look at the first Kansas City go-around, 8 running plays, 2 passes, one of which was a halfback pass by Peyton Hillis. So you might have some idea what's coming at you.
Play fake to Charlie. Deep drop for Quinn. Looking deep, throwing deep. This side, incomplete.
Tremendous play by Mike Adams, the safety. Boy, does he cover a lot of ground.
Jamar Newsom was the intended receiver who started all the way on the far side of the field.
Well, that's how long this play took. But Mike Adams covers a lot of ground and then perfectly comes in and gets a hand on the football. Yeah, Brady Quinn ends up on the ground, but not after he held that ball for a good 5 or 6 seconds.
180.
Second and 10. The pitch for Charles. Cuts it back. Has running room to about the 32-yard line. Our first update of the day. To New York, JB and Shannon.
Pittsburgh likes this kind of help. Yes, JB, when you're down to your third quarterback, you need help like this from your defense. Tip pass. Pittsburgh's LT, Lawrence Timmons, that is. 53-yard INT return for a touchdown. The Steelers are on top 7-3. Back to Greg and Dan.
All right, guys, thank you.
Wow, imagine the Pittsburgh defense scoring. How many times have we seen Dick LeBeau's group doing that over there?
3rd and 4 for Quinn. Straight drop. Little pump fake, and then out here to the side. That's complete to his tight end, Moeaki, who is out of bounds at about the 12 on the first down. Wesley Woodyard shoved him out.
Yeah, well, Woodard was the closest guy, but when I say the closest guy, I'm talking about he was a good 4 or 5 yards away. When Brady Quinn looked over here at Moeaki, he must have been thrilled to see how wide open he was. That's a blow on the Denver defense there to leave a relief valve that wide open, especially as good a receiver as Tony Moeaki has been for Kansas City.
Jack Del Rio was one of those who echoed that thought that nobody wants to play a 1-9 team.
180.
First down from the 12. McCluster, left side. Inside the 10 to the 8.
Well, right now, this offensive line and blocking backs for Kansas City, they're doing a pretty darn good job. They're putting a hat on a white jersey, and they're not losing their feet. They're running with them. Take a look at that. You got Jeff Allen, the rookie, number 71, out in front. He can't even find anybody to block. He kind of froze in the hole. He provided more obstruction than he did help.
Kansas City's red zone offense, nothing to brag about. Dead last in the NFL so far. 2nd and 6.
Out of bounds. 180.
Charles, left side for maybe a yard. We come up on 5:50 to play in the first.
That was a good job. Looked like Derek Wolfe set the edge over there. That was one of the first times we've seen the Denver defense set a hard edge where Kansas City couldn't get around it. And Brady Quinn told us, he said, look, we can't just punt. We've got to take our chances. With Manning on the other sideline, you just can't play a conservative game.
What he said was you just can't punt and give the ball back to Peyton Manning. 3rd and 5. And the play clock winding down.
Yeah, they're inside. Boy, down to 5 seconds.
Quick snap. The pass. That is caught at about the 5 and ahead to the 4-yard line. Terrence Copper. And he was hit there by Champ Bailey. And that'll bring the field goal unit on. And the fans want the team to go for it on 4th down.
Well, the fans, what they're saying is, look, what do we have to lose? We're 1-9. We're huge underdogs if we don't get it. But I think the coach in Romeo Crennel comes out and says, look, we'll play the odds. I hate to have a good drive like this end up with nothing.
And you'd give the Broncos tremendous momentum if they stopped it.
And I think if it was 4th and 1 or less, they might have gone for it.
22-yard That field goal by Suckup is good. And with 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, the Chiefs extend their lead now to 6-0. 2 drives, 2 field goals for the Chiefs, and they lead it by a score of 6-0. And as we noted at the beginning of the game that there were an awful lot of empty seats, which is unusual for an Arrowhead Stadium crowd, we should note the fact that it filled up pretty well since then.
We called it late arriving, and that's exactly what it was. But they're here.
Well, there was barbecue to be finished.
And I wish I was out there finishing with
Trendon Holiday. And he will run this one out after a delay. To 15, and he has running room. 30. And out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. They'll mark it at the 46. Trendon Holiday. He's small, but boy is he quick. Hey, you got a sports fan on your gift list? Avoid the crowds with CBSSports.com. Shop, save big on all officially licensed clearance gear with an additional 20% off now at shop.cbssports.com. 47-yard line of the Denver Broncos, and Brandon Stokely shaken up on that last play on offense for the Broncos, back in the line. Pressure and goes down at the 38-yard line. In on him, number 50, Justin Houston. That's his 8th sack of the season.
Well, when we talked to Tamba Ali, he said you got to be relentless against Manning, and you can't get frustrated because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. At that time, Peyton Manning found nothing downfield. And here's a good look at what he's seeing, and what he's seeing is his receivers not able to get separation from the Kansas City DBs.
Justin Houston was in on a pretty good left tackle at Ryan Clady. Manning quick pass outside. That's complete to Stokely, and Stokely brought down at the 44.
Well, you've got to admit, so far in this first quarter, and we'll see how long they can keep this kind of urgency in their game, but the Kansas City Chiefs on both sides of the football playing mighty hard.
That completion allows Denver to get to -5 yards on the day so far. 3rd and 13. Over the middle, wide open is Decker. Decker inside the 30 to about the 28 or 27-yard line, and a first down.
Well, that time Kansas City unable to generate any kind of a pass rush, and they paid for it. Their 4-man rush just gets completely snuffed out, and Manning has all the time in the world for Eric Decker to uncover and get open coming across the middle.
Eric Decker told us he was in middle school when Peyton Manning first got drafted.
That is all because of good pass protection by that group up front. Peyton changing everything now.
From the 28, Manning throwing inside the 20-yard line to Brandon Stokely, and that is ruled a catch.
Well, he bobbled it initially, but it looked like he got it back under control. Again, good pass protection. Manning able to step into the throw.
Pick number 8, 2nd and 2. This is Moreno. Moreno pedaling off the flies as he ducks inside the 15 to about the 12.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Replays, 2nd down.
That penalty is on Zane Beatles, the left guard.
Well, he was right there at the point of attack. And just when Denver had finally gotten a little momentum going on offense, they take a step back.
By the way, Peyton Manning now over 3,000 yards throwing on the season for a 14th time.
Second down and 10
career.
Kansas City 29-yard line.
There's a lot of football in this regular season left to be played.
2nd and 12.
1,000 yards is going to be eclipsed as well.
Manning got rid of it through the wedge. And a little bit of a yelling at an offensive lineman or two.
Well, Peyton Manning inspires everyone around him. He demands that they play to his level. I think when we were talking to Ronnie Hillman, their rookie running back, he's put it best. He goes, I'm more afraid of Peyton Manning than I am of the coaches.
Last ball in the backfield on 3rd and long. Far side of the field, and that is off the fingertips of Demaryius Thomas. First time he's been thrown to today. Incomplete.
I think Peyton put it in a pretty decent spot, giving Thomas a chance, considering Brandon Flowers has got good inside coverage on it. And that's the only place Peyton Manning could put it because of Flowers' coverage. Give Brandon Flowers a lot of credit there. He forced that incompletion.
So here is Matt Prater. 15 out of 17. This is from 47 yards out.
Whoa, a knuckleball there.
And didn't knuckle between the uprights. The fans and the Chiefs and Kansas City. It's something to cheer about. 1:18 to play. Still 6-0. The Chiefs at their own 38-yard line with 1:18 to play in the first quarter. Brady Quinn spreads the offense. And we get movement up front.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, this lead for the Chiefs, Dan, is rarefied air for them.
Yeah, take a look at it. They've led for a little over 8 minutes today, as you see down on the bottom, but only 26 minutes and 1 second for this season. And look how that compares going all the way back to 1983. It's historically, it's such a small amount. And from a player's perspective, a fan's perspective, that's a whole lot nicer game when you can play with a lead. And the Chiefs have rarely had it.
On 1st and 15, they'll run it with Charles up the middle, and Charles across the 35 to about the 36-yard line, brought down by Justin Banner.
And it's really good news for the Chiefs that Jamal Charles, after looking like initially might have hurt himself, apparently just got the wind knocked out. Good news for them that he's back in the lineup. He and McCluster are a couple of just explosive players that are just a big play waiting to happen.
Picked up 4, it's 2nd and 11. We are in the final minute of the first quarter. Quick throw, that's complete across the 40 to about the 42 or the 43 to McCluster.
And the Chiefs are really working hard trying to get the football to their big playmakers, and that was one of the few real conventional looking passing plays by the Chiefs, where Brady Quinn was in a shotgun empty backfield, gave it away and completed the pass. Albeit a quick one, but nonetheless a completion.
Well, we'll see if the Chiefs get a playoff before this quarter expires, and it appears they will not. So we come to the end of one. Hey, surprise around the NFL. The Chiefs lead the Broncos 6-0. Boy, given the way this season has been going for the Kansas City Chiefs, it would be real easy for them to mail it in. But Romeo Crennel told us, my guys are doing a good job of being teammates, which means that they haven't gone against each other. They're hung pretty tight.
We'll take a look at how they have reversed that first quarter trend.
3rd and 5 for Brady Quinn. On the move. Can't find anybody. He's going to go down at the 41-yard line.
Well, Von Von Miller got over there and sealed it off, but they fooled Kansas City that time. The Denver defense brought only a 3-man rush. They didn't even rush Miller. He dropped a little bit in coverage, and he's just reading the quarterback, and when Quinn got flushed, he went and got it.
So here is the other Colquitt brother. This is Dustin Colquitt, 3 years older than Denver punter Britton. And Jim Leonard is deep. That's a pretty good kick. That got in the end zone, but it did. A Wednesday in prime time. James Brown, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style inside the NFL Wednesday on Showtime.
There's Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator there with his nice full beard. Always had a good-looking goatee, but sitting there next to Brady Quinn.
Well, he heard the chilly weather was coming.
And he heard correctly.
So Manning and company from the 20-yard line. And this is Moreno. And Moreno tripped up at the line of scrimmage forward to about the 23.
Tripped up on his own guy. It wasn't an attempted tackle. It looked to me like he tripped over his own guy. Trying to cut outside Joel Dreesen right there and clips him on the right heel. And that sends him to the turf. This game's tough enough without falling over your own guys.
Hey, move back to 56.
John Fox said the scout team is where Moreno has had to get his reps, and he's done it well. Play fake. And the pass to Moreno is complete. That's a first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Another NFL Today update. JB and Shannon.
Greg Cincy's still in the hunt.
The Raiders here so bad, the Bengals receiver said, to make it fair, we're going to catch the ball with one hand. And Mohamed Sanu did, Jay. 2-yard TD, 14-0, Bengals all over the Raiders.
Even though Dan Dierdorf is a Hall of Fame lineman, I bet you he caught one like that in his day at some point. Greg and Dan.
He caught one like that in the parking lot on the way in, JB.
Most of my receptions like that were when I was sleeping. Somewhere in a really happy dream.
First down, quick pass. Jacob Tanny, the tight end, out to the 40-yard line. Derek Johnson made the stop there.
And that's Tammy and Joel Dreesen have just really slid right into the role of Dallas Clark and other tight ends that have been the beneficiary of a Peyton Manning offense. Manning just loves to work the middle of the field with these guys.
Made again by Moreno to the 45-yard line and a first down.
You know, it's really hard to document how far Moshawn Moreno had plummeted in Denver. He fumbled in the second game of the year in Atlanta, got benched, and then really inactive for the last 8 games, relegated to the scout team, where he won Scout Team Player of the Week a couple times. That's not normally where first-round draft choices. That's not where they aspire to be, winning that Scout Team award.
The rookie Ronnie Hillman is in the backfield now. First down. Play fake to him, and Manning looking deep, going deep, and double covered and intercepted by Brandon Flowers. Flowers looking to flip it back, and he does to Abram Elam, and Elam brings it back to about the 20-yard line.
Well, every now and then, Peyton Manning shows us that he is human, because why on earth he throws this football, I have no idea. His receiver was never open.
Peyton Manning throwing his 8th pick of the season. And it's the Chiefs. Quick pass out to the side. That's complete to Dwayne Bowe. And Bowe across the 30 for a first down. Let's go back to that interception.
You know, I couldn't believe Peyton threw the ball, because when you look, here's Eric Decker right here. But watch, he is totally bracketed from the very beginning by 2 Kansas City Chiefs. Flowers on the inside. Look at that. You know, that's what Peyton sees when he releases the football. And he was his only receiver that was double covered, and yet Peyton chose to try to force it to Decker. That is just the type of decision Peyton Manning characteristically doesn't make.
Charles near side. Run out of bounds at about the 35-yard line by Mike Adams. You know, and Peyton Manning says, you know, he's had experience back when he was at Indy playing against Romeo Crennel's defenses, and he says sometimes Romeo gets a little sneaky. He'll rush 3 and drop 8 on you.
Yeah, and some of those, you know, of course, were in New England, and Romeo has been around for a long time, just as number 18 has, and he's always so good at identifying the coverages and finding the single coverage and the weakness in a defense.
180.
Second and 6 and movement on the right side.
Embarrassing.
Looks like Moeaki.
False start. Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, there's Greg, in your defense, no question Moeaki moved as well, but I think 3 Kansas City Chiefs moved on that one, and it's only one gets the special thrill of being singled out.
Referee's choice. I saw you.
I'm sure Moeaki's back in the huddle going, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I'll get it from the coaches, but at least I didn't get it from Jerome Boger.
Second and 11.
Adam.
Here's where things can get hairy in the passing game.
Quinn got rid of it and overthrew and threw it out of bounds on this side of the field, and we get another update from JB and Ken.
Shannon, Cleveland's effort's been there all year.
Yes, after Isaac Redmond fumbled on his own 10. Brandon Whedon, I like a guy with 2 first names. Jordan Cameron catches this 10-yard touchdown pass. Cleveland on top, 10-7.
Greg Gumbel, Dan Dierdorf.
I think it would be a mistake to overlook these Cleveland Browns just yet.
We saw that last week in Dallas, didn't we? A feisty bunch.
Feisty defines what these Chiefs have been so far. We have 10-13 to play here in the first half. We have a 6-0 lead. Running out of time, and got the timeout.
He got it just in time.
First timeout, Kansas City.
So Kansas City burns a timeout here with 10-13 to play in the first half. It'll be 3rd and 11 when we come back to Arrowhead Stadium in a moment. Back for 3rd and 11 for the Chiefs. From their own 30-yard line and pulling the shotgun. Quick blitz. That pass is complete. And out across the 40, 45 midfield is Moeaki for a first down. Good job by Brady Quinn of standing in the face of the blitz.
Well, and getting rid of it in a hurry and identifying where his blitz beater is. Working the left side of the field the whole way. And a couple of Broncos are there, but they're not in a position to defend the pass. And Moeaki, that's a pretty easy completion. Well done. Kansas City right now is playing pretty good football.
In Denver territory at the 49-yard line. He gives to Jamal Charles, and Charles is met with vigor by Kevin Vickerson.
Well, this Denver defense, they played so well a year ago. And Tim Tebow got all the publicity, but the reason that they won those games down the stretch was how well their defense played. And Dennis Allen, their defensive coordinator, gets the head coaching job in Oakland out of it. And they're very fortunate to have the guy we just saw, Jack Del Rio, after 9 years in Jacksonville. He is a defensive mastermind.
Brady Quinn pass over the middle, and that's complete inside the 45 to McCluster to about the 43.
But again, just the kind of completion that makes 3rd down a little more manageable. Now, Brady Quinn's not exactly working both sides of the field with his eyes, but his guys are getting some separation right now. They are separating from the Denver defenders more often than not.
And now Quinn looking at a 3rd and 4. Looks left, and he's going to run for it. Tucks it away, slides down, and we have a penalty mark.
This flag way back upfield by the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
That's the rookie left guard, Jeff Allen.
Well, a pair of rookies having to man the left side of the offensive line for Kansas City. Allen, their second-round pick. Right there in the middle, right there. There he's got his hand all the way across the front of Derek Wolfe, number 95. And when you're out in the open like that, that's where you really get caught. Now they've been keeping a tight end to that side to help out Stevenson, the rookie left tackle. But it's tough enough in the NFL without starting a pair of rookies on your offensive line.
So now 3rd and 14. With time, and that's complete. And to the 40 is Dwayne Bowe, and just short of a first down. And will Romeo Crennel go for it or not? No sign of the punter on the field. And Brady Quinn says, let's go for it. And they will.
Because they actually have, it's less than a yard. And you know, what does Romeo Crennel and this Kansas City team have to lose? This is, if there's a luxury of being 1-9, this is it.
You see how successful the Chiefs have been on 4th down this year so far. No one in the backfield with him. I think this, and a whistle before the sneak, and they took a timeout.
Before the snap, Kansas City called timeout. Their second.
Wow. Cancel that first down.
We're back in Kansas City, and Romeo Crennel was unhappy as he's unloading. Oh, geez, and here's a false start. Now, Denver jumped. The question's going to be, were they in the neutral zone, and did they draw Kansas City into an involuntary reflex
Vickerson
action?
was involved.
At first glance, it looked like Denver reset. Vickerson moved first. Did he get back?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty, resulting in a first down.
There's Vickerson right there. And you can see he's in the neutral zone, no question about it. And Eric Winston, the right tackle. Now, that was hardly an instinctive reaction.
That's a smart reaction by Eric
Well,
Winston.
it's smart as long as he gets away with it, and Winston got away with it that time. That rule was to protect the offensive lineman who immediately reacted.
First down at the 35.
A veteran move by Winston worked.
Charles for about a yard and a half, maybe 2. Derek Wolfe, the rookie defensive end out of Cincinnati, with the stop. And we come up on 7 minutes to play.
And one of the things that's really working to Kansas City's advantage so far, they have run 27 plays to this point. They've still got the football. Peyton Manning and the Broncos have run 14. They've doubled them up in plays so far here in the first half.
On 2nd and 9, Quinn throwing this side to McCluster, and McCluster can't break away from the first hit. And he's down at about the 33-yard line. Tonight, on 60 Minutes, Lara Logan travels to Africa with legendary filmmakers to show you big cats like you've never seen them before. 60 Minutes tonight.
Well, here again, these are the kind of situations. 3rd and long for any offense is not desirable. But it's made even worse when you've got rookies on your offensive line and against a couple of the game's premier pass rushers of Weaverville and Miller.
On the move and goes down. Back at the 42-yard line, Wesley Woodyard, his 4th sack of the season.
And if there was any prospect of a field goal, that went up in smoke with that sack. And again, Wesley Woodyard has just come on. He got the play because of the suspension of DJ Williams. He was predominantly a special teams guy, and now he has become a good player from the line of scrimmage to the point that Williams isn't on the verge of getting his job back. Woodyard is keeping
Dustin Colfer looking to pin the Broncos deep, and the fair catch is called for and made by Jim Leonard back at the 6-yard line. Peyton Manning operating out of a hole when we come back. There's a lot to be said about playing for pride in the NFL, and you can see that the Chiefs' defense has stood up very well against the potent Broncos offense so far. 5:15 to play in the first half.
Well, the Chiefs' defense hasn't been the reason that they're 1-9.
Manning pulls it down, throws over the middle, and that's grabbed by Thomas. And Demaryius Thomas across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Well, so much talent in Demaryius Thomas. Peyton told us he's never had a receiver this big, this physical. And then once he gets the ball in his hands, it's a luxury to be 6'3", 230 pounds. And he's not afraid to lower the shoulder and go after it.
This is Moreno. And Moreno picks a spot right up the middle across the 30 to about the 32.
Man, it's not every day you see an NFL running back come to almost a complete stop and wait for the hole to open up. But then, you know, Moreno, he almost comes to a complete stop before he accelerates. That's about as little as you'll see an RB move, and then no backside pursuit coming from Kansas City, and Noshawn Moreno took advantage.
So 2 quick first down for the Broncos, and they're out to their own 31.
29.
Play fake to Moreno this time. Manning under pressure and throws it. Hit Stokely. Stokely across the middle, inside the 40 to about the 38.
Brandon Stokely said, "I was finished. I thought I had played my last snap in the NFL until Peyton Manning called." And what he does so well, working the intermediate part of the field. And then the safety, Lewis, he makes a mistake of thinking that Stokely's going to go out of bounds. And he does not. And picks up about another 5.
Another first down. Moran running to the left side. Inside the 30.
When we talk about setting the edge, that was the disappearing edge. That was just superbly blocked by the guys from Denver. They just wiped out that side of the Kansas City defense. And Moreno is starting to get his legs under it.
29.
Second and
Trip
1.
right. You good? 29.
And met at about the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he got the first down. He's about a yard shy of it, looks like, from here. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, again, we talk about setting the edge. Watch right in front of you, Justin Houston, number 50. He's riding the outside shoulder of the offensive lineman, and then he just doesn't give ground, keeps that outside shoulder, and comes off and makes the play. That's textbook on how you do it.
Shotgun on 3rd and 1. Throws outside, and that is caught. Well, this is right at the first down marker by Joel Dreesen.
This is all about forward progress here.
And we hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Kansas City pitching a shutout. Meanwhile, John Fox has been waiting for his offense to do what they do best, and on this drive they've finally done it. They did measure for the first down, and they do have a first down at the Kansas City 28. Denver has all 3 of the timeouts remaining. Kansas City down to 1.
Well, the difference on this drive is that Denver's been successful running the football.
56 is mine.
Morena's got 5 carries now, and he's up to averaging 5 yards a carry.
Houston again.
And again, Peyton couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. He had all the time in the world. He's in the pocket, he just can't find, he's not even close to cocking and throwing. And looking downfield, there's Jacob Tamme. He's knocked clear out of the play, and Tamme looks like he's hurt. But Peyton had absolutely nowhere to go with that. He's lucky he didn't fumble it.
2nd and 14. Manning all the way to the 11 and a first down.
He looked hobbled after that last play. Again, how many times? Look how Peyton delivers that football where Tammy can take it in stride, turn upfield immediately. Peyton Manning, I couldn't even, a calculator would melt trying to figure out how many times he's hit a crossing pattern in his career.
First and goal. We're down to 40 seconds to play in the first half. Moreno. Maybe a yard before Terrence Johnson made the stop.
Yeah, take a timeout here, sir.
And they stop the clock with 32 seconds to play. Denver with 2 timeouts remaining, trailing by 6. Dan, a lot of teams would have to settle sometimes for a field goal, but in this situation, if you've got Peyton Manning on the field, do you go for the touchdown?
Well, let me tell you something. Both corners for Kansas City are 5'9". Thomas is 6'3", Decker is 6'3", Tammy 6'3", Greason 6'4".
I think I have your answer.
Yes.
On second and goal, Manning throwing outside, and that is complete and hit is Decker. Probably a 1-yard gain there to the 8, another timeout.
Great tackle by Arenas. Javier Arenas, that was just perfect. Inbounds, you force Denver to use another timeout, and you give up 1 yard in the process. That's how you do it. I'm sure when Peyton threw this football, he's going, well, it's going to be a short completion, but we'll get a clock stoppage because we'll get out of bounds. And Decker can't get there because of that outstanding tackle by Arenas. But again, the big height advantage going to Denver here, Demaryius Thomas can really elevate.
11th play of an 87-yard drive so far for Manning and the Broncos. 3rd and goal.
56 is mine, ready. Watch Chief.
Demaryius Thomas there at the top.
Manning got rid of it at the goal line. Touchdown, Jacob Tammy.
Again, tight ends between the numbers. Man, that was in Peyton's wheelhouse. There you got Jacob Tammy, the little jerk route, facing it to the outside, back to the inside. That is so difficult to defend. And Peyton with a little pocket movement, and even under pressure, he ends up getting thrown to the ground by Tyson Jackson. Banged his head a little bit, but again, he delivered a perfect pass to Jacob Tammy, his old Indianapolis teammate.
His 25th touchdown pass of the season. That's the 14th time in his career. 25 or more TD passes in a season.
And here's Kansas City, just has played so well all half. And if this is good, they're going to be behind going in at half.
And they are by a score of 7-6.
Again, they settled for field goals in the red zone, and Denver settled for a touchdown in the red zone. Again, Brandon Stokely takes the crowd into the end zone. And that's under pressure. That's just a perfect throw from Peyton Manning. And good job by Jacob Tammy of fighting his way into the end zone. Eric Berry just not able to get him to the ground.
Peyton Manning has thrown 8 touchdowns in the month of November. Chiefs quarterbacks have combined for 6 touchdown passes all season long. And as we just mentioned, for the 14th time in his season, he's reached a 25 passing touchdown mark.
You think we would ever get tired of sitting down at a table and talking football with Peyton Manning? It's one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've ever had as long as I've been in this game, is sitting and talking to Peyton Manning.
Only if for no other reason that he is just so straightforward and honest about his feelings about the game and what he does, how he goes about business. It was really interesting to hear him talk about the prospects of him, about the whole year that he sat out last year and whether or not he'd be able to come back or not. Sean Brown is deep. And doesn't look like he'll return this one. And he will not. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 20-yard line. Hey, last month, as part of the NFL's Play 60 initiative, the Denver Broncos invited some of the local kids onto their home turf for an afternoon of activities. Led by Wesley Woodyard, the kids ran through a host of activities inside and out of the stadium and also had a chance to mingle with their favorite Broncos. NFL Play 60 is a national youth health and fitness campaign focused on increasing the health of young fans by encouraging them to be active for at least 60 minutes a day.
What a great program and an opportunity to actually shake hands and get up close to an NFL player. How cool for those kids.
Brady Quinn takes a knee, and that will do it for the first half. Kansas City led almost the entire first half. A late Peyton Manning touchdown, and it's 7-6 Broncos at the break. Say this for the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of pride coming out here today. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.